All right, y'all, I'm back. So if I didn't mention this before, remember I was saying I was hearing drones above my apartment, military helicopters, police helicopters. There was experiences as far as like social media, on social media platforms. I already shared with you how I was getting inundated with so many different men trying to get to know me, right? But I had eventually found out, Spirit had eventually shared with me. They gave me information, bits and pieces, because it was just way too much to handle at one time. The extent of what I was experiencing and what was being done behind the scenes. But Spirit had also showed me like they were trying to block out like my business partnerships, my business connections, my prospective partnerships, because at that time I was transitioning to a spiritually based business. And so when I'm networking, I'm reaching out to people, come to find out these people would access my email, hack into my email, follow up with a conversation, and tell people not to work with me for who knows what particular reason, but to dissuade them from working with me. Okay, or this is what Spirit has shared with me. So I had lost out on contracts and opportunities because of that. I had also lost out on contracts and opportunities because my emails were being blocked. Okay, so here I am thinking I'm not getting any responses. Nobody is emailing me. I'm not getting phone calls. People are not returning my phone calls. This is not the norm, at least not for me. And add in separation and rejection spells and chaos spells and illusion magic, and then people physically going in to block out your emails or to go back and go on a full-fledged smear campaign of painting me in a negative light for people who, who don't know me, who've never spoken to me. I'm talking about strangers who've never spoken to me, never had one full-fledged conversation with me. And for those who I have actually networked and spoken to, they would reach out and say some of the most vile things about my character. Okay, and then dissuade the person from wanting to work with me. Okay, so it did impact and affect my business in that way. There were many reports done on Better Business Bureau against my business. Not the spiritually based one, but the one where my designing one, where I did graphic design and web design. There are a lot of Better Business Bureau complaints. What else? Y'all, you know me, I went ahead and wrote a list because I don't want to miss a beat as it relates to this. I'm going to come back to the one where I saw the same chick in Florida. Okay. Let's stick with this. So, so I did share with you when these people were intentional. They had readers on payroll. And speaking of readers, I'm going to tell you two things. They had readers on payroll, and they would literally have a reading done on me every day to see what was coming, what type of blessings was coming down, the pipeline for me. And I forgot to put my timer on y'all. But what kind of blessings was coming down for me so that they can stop it, do a destiny swap so that they can get it. Okay. So anything good, they would do spell work to go against it. Business, relationships, friendships, money. This is what they would do. Okay? Like, no, you can't have that. This is what they did. And I already told you how this bitch was wicked in the sense where she married my twin to take advantage of the physical goods. And then married me in the spirit to take advantage of my spiritual wealth. So my spiritual wealth, his physical wealth. Okay, this is the type of magic that this bitch did. Okay, some of it was ceremonial, some of it was ancient, but this is the type of magic that she did, had us both bound. Okay, I had to get out of that shit. So for those who have, anyways, I had to get out of that shit, and I did get out of that shit. Okay, now let me talk about, because of course there's a lot, but let me talk about, I travel for work. They would travel to work. Their work was my work. Okay. There were times where I was doing networking events, and I'm physically feeling my body vibrate not from head to toe, but around my solar plexus and my sacral chakra, so my abdomen area. I would physically feel like a vibration. I would also feel my nervous system dysregulated. And to share some of the reason why my solar plexus and sacral chakra was vibrating, this ties into when the first guy, the 53-year-old, had poisoned my food with some type of, spirit told me, some type of toxin that he received for me to consume. That's like a protein, that is a protein or plasma, some type of shit that attaches to your body, and it's almost like an AI technology where things can be, where your body signals can be tracked, okay, and can also affect the intensity of like the vibration. Okay, you add that in with energy weapons, and you add that in with spell work, which is, I got the 1, 2, 3 combo. I could laugh about it now, but that shit wasn't funny. I was going through it. Okay, and it was literally to break my ass down. So they would intensify whatever technology that's attached to what I consumed, what I was poisoned with. Okay, and they would control it through technology, and coupled with whenever spell work was done, it would draw out and drain out energy from my sacral chakra. Okay, add on to that, I'm getting hit with energy weapons that sounds and feels like a laser to my third eye, to my crown chakra. And because I'm sensitive, I could hear it. I could feel it. Okay. And also feel the effects of it when I woke up the next day. Like they would have that bad boy on me all night while I was sleeping. All night. Yo. So then one of the craziest things happened. In midst of me going through this experience, what was further confirmation that the youngin from Philadelphia, he was connected to all this. And it's crazy. I thought me leaving to the DMV, I left all of what was in Philly behind. He literally showed up on my doorstep. He showed up on my doorstep, knocking on the door. I go out, I look through the peephole, and I see him. Did I answer? No. I didn't want to have anything to do with him at that point. One, I'm like, how the fuck did you find my address? Two, why the fuck did you show up on my doorstep? Three, I'm not opening the door for you, because at that point, I would have blacked the fuck out. And that would not have been good. I would have blacked the fuck out. Because here I am experiencing all this bullshit, and not once did you pick up the phone. Did you send a damn near pigeon with the letter? Did you send one of your homeboys to tell me, hey yo, my bitch is crazy. My ex is crazy. My baby mama's crazy. This is the shit that's going on. This is the shit that they're doing. All this shit that they're doing to you is because of me. Not once. And you have the nerve to show up to my place, my spot. It's 2021, 2022, 2023. So you let damn near 3 years go by and you ain't say shit. And all I ever did was be good to you. You could have at least gave me a heads up. It didn't have to be directly from you. It could have been directly from somebody from somebody else. I went through all this. Granted, I know the higher reason. I'm at a point where I can appreciate the higher reason. But while in that moment, I was in the thick of it. And I'm like, the last person I want to see is you at my doorstep, because you may not be walking out the same way you came in. Do you hear me? I was that upset. So I thought it's best for me not to open the door. Y'all. I'm experiencing me and my Facebook groups, my social media, Facebook social media groups of, at the time, being infiltrated with trolls, with some of the, gang stalking, where it just stopped being fun for me at that time. So what I ended up doing, I'm trying to see how much time I have. Many people do not know this. So what I ended up doing was I ended up focusing my energy on my work. One of the two things that I created on my work was, one, I created affirmation cards, and two, I created a tarot deck. I was in the last stages of getting an editor just to proofread it before it went into production. And I'll have you know, next thing you know, the spirit tells me to check on somebody's channel. And I'm checking on somebody's channel. And it happens to be a well-known, psychic on YouTube who has, a big following. And she teaches courses on how to create your own decks. It just so happened that I saw my own deck that she was promoting, but it was by somebody else. The somebody else, when I did one, Spirit told me that that's your deck. I compared it and contrasted it with my deck. There was very little difference. Okay. Then I did more research and discovered that I did more research, I'll put it like that. And it was confirmation that the people who were behind that tarot deck, and they were making good money off of their sales on Etsy. That people who were on Etsy, they were making bomb sales, partially due to her promotion, to drive traffic. They had made a lot of money off of that. And because my shit was hacked, they took my cards, the idea, the color scheme, the verbiage, created their own, went to her class, promoted it on Etsy, and was making mad money off of it. The other deck happens to be by a well-known tarot reader. Okay? And just to give you a clue, I'll just put it like this. My tarot deck was on, I put my own personal experiences into my tarot deck. So basically, all of the spell work that was being done to me, I had written it down and I had created cards from it. And I'm in my last stages of getting it proofed by the editor before it hits production. And then I see that these cards come out. And that this woman made more money than the woman who made money off of my affirmation decks. And Spirit had showed me the connection. Okay? Because the funny thing is, whenever anybody, and I'm not talking about, somebody having an idea, right? And then like two people can't have the same idea. But the one funny thing is, since everything is energy, if somebody specifically takes your idea, meaning it wasn't an organic idea of theirs, because it's energy, Spirit will lead you to where your energy is so you can reclaim that bitch. And that's exactly where they led me to. They led me to the reader who had promoted it. They led me to the video that my cards were in. They led me to where it was being sold on Etsy. And then they gave me the names that was behind it. So here they are, they're making this money off of my own creations. And then they're spreading it amongst the Gangstalking crew. Okay? So that's one way that they have exploited me. The other way that they exploited me, which I didn't mention before, was because now that they have video cameras in my apartment, oh, guess what? Oh, this is real. Now we're really getting to sex trafficking, right? Because now you're taking live video footage in my home, in my most intimate areas, and you are selling the footage online. I didn't mention that beforehand as far as the trafficking because I wanted to wait to tell it now because this is what happened in 2023. Okay, so I was being sex trafficked via video footage that was implanted in my home by way of maintenance. His name is Craig, okay, and taking all these different video footage, one, to keep an eye on me, to keep track of my whereabouts, to keep track of what it is that I'm doing, and in addition to exploit me and gain money and riches off of me, okay? Not only did they exploit me in that way, but when they hacked my computer, they took my ideas, my cards, my color scheme, my verbiage on the two cards that I made. One was an affirmation deck. The other one was a spell work deck. So in other words, spells that people do to other people. But I had based it off of my own personal experiences. So I'm going to let for you guys to determine, what decks is similar to that? What decks are out there that showcase spell work being done? I'll let you figure that out. Then they go ahead and turn around and trademark that bitch. Spirit just told me this recently in 2025. How they turned around and trademarked my ideas, my cards. It wasn't even my ideas. I was done. It was about to launch and making money off of me that way. Let me stop it right here, y'all, before I go into the next video.